The history of UFOs is filled with abductions, sightings, and crashes. Many point to Roswell being the first when it comes to UFO crashes. But what if there was one before Roswell? In 1897, in Aurora, Texas, a strange craft was seen in the air shortly before it crashed. What was the craft? Was it of this world? Was it an alien? Or was it all a hoax? Join us today as we look into the Aurora, Texas UFO incident.
Welcome back to
Unknown,
Unsaw,
Unseen,
Triple U.
Woohoo!
After taking a short break.
Because I couldn't really talk last week. Sorry
Yes,
about that.
I was sick the week before, and then I gave that sickness to Frank. So, my bad.
Yeah, we're back. Welcome back to episode 73. I'm your otherworldly host, Frank.
I'm your worldly host, Sage.
Oh, worldly. And then we have Atlas, our sleepy boy.
Who will hopefully stay sleepy and good through the rest of this.
Yeah. Alright, announcements? I kind of got nothing. Nothing for nobody. But I think I'm going to go ahead and get on to the fun stuff. So, alrighty. Today we're going to head down to where everything is bigger, down to Texas.
That's true.
Sage, have you ever heard of the Aurora, Texas UFO incident?
I don't think so. I have heard of Aurora, Texas, though.
Aurora, Texas. Aurora Borealis, at this time of the year, in this time of the country, completely localized within your kitchen.
Nice.
Do you know what that is?
It's a Simpsons reference.
Yeah, steamed hams.
Yeah.
And Skinner goes, yes. May I see it? No. Such a classic part. That won't be the only Simpsons reference in this episode, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you're on a Simpsons kick after I sent you the link to the Springfield Thunderbirds Isotopes
I actually
jerseys.
watched it last night and going into the Olympic hockey. I watched the first episode where they of the hockey, one of the two hockey episodes for The Simpsons. And after the game ends in a tie, what do you think they do? They tear down the ice rink and riot.
Oh, well, that sounds like Philly, to be honest, not Springfield.
Hey, or Vancouver.
That's true.
They lost the Stanley Cup, and so they tore down they rioted in their fucking city.
As
Crazy
one
times.
does. As one does.
Alright, back to this. So you said you know nothing about this. Well, today we'll be looking into the Aurora, Texas UFO incident.
I know about 30 seconds from the documentary that you watched.
Yeah, I won't mention that. This may be the first recorded UFO crash.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I would have thought there was at least sightings earlier.
There are claim sightings and things that like people attribute to UFOs after the matter.
Oh, okay.
So like there's a lot of things that have happened in history that people now think are UFOs, but weren't before. Like they were either just tall tales or something. UFOs kind of are like shoehorned into past things.
Okay.
They
that makes
have
sense.
a whole TV show for that shit called Ancient Aliens.
I was going to say Doctor Who. I don't know why.
No, we're talking Ancient Aliens.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there is episodes where Doctor Who goes the whole way back to
I think
ancient
so.
civilizations.
You know what's actually what movie brings up Ancient Aliens from a long time ago?
What?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Aliens.
Well, the clowns are aliens, and one of the guys is like, what if it's one of those like ancient astronaut theories? Why we have clowns in our world is because they've been coming here for a while, so that's how we came up with clowns.
It's not ancient aliens, though. That's ancient.
Ancient astronaut, ancient aliens. The reason why we would have clowns is
Double A does not mean the same thing to everybody, okay? Alcoholics Anonymous is also AA.
Ancient aliens and ancient astronauts is the same thing.
No. Yeah. Astronauts is humanoid.
Ancient aliens are referred to as ancient astronauts.
Dumb.
Wrong. You're wrong.
Okay.
You are bigly wrong.
You are the worst wrong you've ever been.
And I am the most right here because I, Donald W. Trump, am in the Epstein files. I'm totally not using the actual name because I don't want to get sued.
I'm actually Donald J. Donald.
And I am totally in the files.
And I do not use the auto pen.
I am an expert on the matter. I am an expert, therefore I exonerate myself. So fucking stupid.
By removing my name from all 6 million pages.
Holy shit.
Anyway.
Yo, he's definitely in the files, and he's definitely doing some wrongdoing, in my opinion.
He be diddling a little too much.
Diddling, Donald Diddlin, Andrew Diddlin, everyone Diddlin?
Bill Diddlin?
Bill Diddlin and Bill 2 Diddlin?
Oh.
Yeah, there's 2 Bills.
I got you.
Bill squared Diddlin.
Ew.
Alright, back to this. We're going to be talking about the Aurora UFO incident, which predates Roswell by 50 years.
That's crazy.
So, but what if it's all some hoax? Huh?
I feel like you could say that about
everything, yeah. Well, we're going to get into this and let you determine what you think. Let's get a tiny little background of the area we'll be heading to today. Today we're going to be heading to the rural city. It's technically a city, I believe, but I use the word town here and there. But the little city of Aurora, Texas, at this time of the year. As of the 2020 census, 100% of the population live in rural areas. The first census I found was 1890, of a population of 372, and then of 1980 of 376.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
4 births or people coming to town.
It sounds like everyone's birthing 2 children, and 4 times people birth 3 in that time. Wild. But so this is Wikipedia that was giving this information, so there might be more out there, but this gets the gist of it. This is just outside of Fort Worth in Dallas, home of the Dallas Stars.
Also home to Hive Bakery from The Necessary Conversation. Haley, wonderful bakery. Go check it out.
I just like adding hockey where I can, but it's just northwest of Dallas in the Fort Worth area, so it's right there. I think that's everything for the background. Not really much to talk about this time, so let's get cosmic up in here.
Do you know anything about the town today?
376 people, 100% rural living.
Like in 2026, there's 376 people.
That was sorry. I don't think it's even that much after 376. I still believe they're under 400. Oh, sorry. No, it's 1,390 now. Whoa.
As of the estimate for 2026, it's 1,618.
Yeah, that's still not many people. Yeah,
that's crazy.
376 to 623 from 1980 to 1990, but 100% of it is rural.
If you look on the Google AI too, says the town's known for its small town feel, high safety ratings, and for being the site of a famous 1897 UFO legend.
Yep. So let's go to the year of our Lord, 1897. Every year is going to be the year of our Lord. Just depends on which Lord you're talking about, though.
Every year it's a different Lord.
It's Lord like the singer this time.
Do you think anyone ever says it's the year of Our Lady?
No.
Sexist and misogynistic assholes.
Too bad. Sad. Alright. So we are talking UFOs, so I want to put a reference in here regarding timelines. This is 5 years before the Wright brothers' first flight.
Holy shit. That's like crazy to think about.
Yeah, 1897.
Did cars exist then?
Yeah, but very primitive.
Like the very, very first versions of the Ford?
I'm pretty sure the very, very like first versions barely doing like not widely available.
Of the Ford Model T?
Sure.
That's the only old car I know.
What I'm going to talk about next is almost all from a news article published in April 19th, 1897, which is the primary source for almost all of this, in the Dallas Morning News by S.E. Hayden.
Thank you, S.E. Hayden.
You might not be thinking him later. Who knows? Some people hate him.
Oh.
Hating on Hayden.
My bad, I guess I'll determine later.
On the morning of April 17th, 1897, the usually quiet morning was interrupted. A strange cigar-shaped craft was seen flying around the sky, in the sky around the city. It was heading north. However, it was getting closer to the ground over time. Something seemed wrong with the craft as it was moving slowly and heading closer to the ground. It was going somewhere between 10 to 12 miles per hour. It was mentioned before it was coming down that it had actually been flying around the country. At first I didn't know if it meant countryside or the overall country, but I eventually figured out it meant the whole country, which I'll go into later.
That's interesting, considering there's no way for that kind of news to like spread fast.
There kind of is, but I'll tell you some stuff. I mean, they still have Telegram at that point, which is pretty fast.
It's not Facebook fast.
No, it's not Facebook. It's not the Zuck fast. Now, the craft was heading north and went right over the public square of the town. As it reached farther north and got to the northern part of the town, it collided with the windmill of Judge J.S. Proctor. Upon collision with the windmill, the craft exploded! I don't know why, I just felt like I had to say that loudly. But debris was scattered over several acres. The windmill and the water tank that was there as well were both destroyed, but even worse, Judge Proctor's flower garden was destroyed. The tragedy!
That is really sad, because a lot of times people put a lot of love and care into cultivating flower gardens, and that they don't have much else to do in the 1890s.
Damn.
Other than being a judge.
90s people. Bruh.
I mean, he was a judge, but how long can you really withstand doing that without having some kind of, mindfulness, self-care activity?
Well, too bad his guard's gone, because our alien boy was bing, boom. Loady.
Bing bong.
Alright. So, with debris scattered about, there was one piece that was... Wait, sorry, nope. The debris was scattered about all throughout the area, but there was one piece that was just different. There was a body among the wreckage. It was described as badly disfigured, and despite its state, it was apparently able to be determined the body was not of this world. If not of this world, then what was it?
Do they have any descriptions of what it looked like?
Not really. I did see here one place that said short with a barely any nose.
Voldemort?
Yeah, it's that shriveled up dead Voldemort in the last movie.
In the train station?
Yep.
Yeah. Disgusting.
I just love the one meme where I see what happened to him. Squid Games.
Sure.
That's all I remember is that one.
All right.
That's what happened to him. Squid Games. But yeah, shriveled up little Voldemort here is dead.
Poor guy.
From what they could tell, and this is what it said in the news article, he was the only being on the craft when it crashed. Now, we have Mr. T.J. Weems entering the picture. The man was the United States Signal Service operator of Aurora, which is part of the Army. No idea what that truly was, though. He was also the authority on astronomy in the area. He determined that the dead dude was... Really? I put dead dude? Okay. I wrote that in my notes. But
Yikes.
The dead occupant was a Martian. Now, this is also the time that observations of Mars via telescope finally became more popular. The idea of Martians started to gain a lot of traction here because this is about when War of the Worlds also came out, and we just started thinking, because they believe they saw canals on Mars, and that Martians must be real.
Canals on Mars?
Yeah. through telescopes. They thought they saw canals, and so therefore they had to be Martian.
That's right. Didn't Galileo make the telescope?
This is way after Galileo.
I know. I'm just asking.
I don't think he made a telescope. I think he's the one who determined that we orbit around the sun.
Hey Google, who invented the telescope?
Hans what? Lippershey?
Lippershey?
Yeah, that's not Galileo.
Zacharias. Something else?
Not Galileo still. Alright. Now, despite how disfigured this body was, they did find papers on him oddly. These papers were said to be in weird hieroglyphs and unable to be deciphered.
That didn't burn up?
Guess not. Hey, I mean, actually no, I'm not going to get into that. What I was about to say is a 9/11 conspiracy with papers.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that yet. That's still too early.
Yeah. So, I just don't know why. I don't know. Not everything gets destroyed immediately in an explosion. Maybe it was like in his pocket and came out when his body came like flying out. That's
not funny, but that's a crazy thing to like imagine in your head.
Yeah.
Like I just could imagine like Supermaning out of the car.
Oh my god. The craft explosion, from the explosion, he Superman's out from the flame. It just like hits the ground.
Ay. That's horrible.
For the state of the ship, they described it as being badly wrecked and too damaged to determine anything regarding its construction or function of anything. They could only determine what they knew prior to its destruction. From what it was built with, they believed it was some unknown material, and it seemed like a mixture of aluminum and silver, which is actually similar to many other descriptions of unknown metals that are reported from sightings and crashes of unknown objects, or unknown flying objects. However, it was mentioned that they believed it weighed several tons. Now, I don't know if that's the individual pieces or the whole collective of the craft debris. A lot of times, individual craft is described as being, like, the pieces themselves fairly light. Overall, it would still be a heavy craft, but, like, the material itself is lighter than what you'd expect.
Okay.
Now, the last paragraph of the news article mentions that people were viewing the wreck and gathering samples. Additionally, the town would have a funeral for the pilot the following day at noon. Gotta pay them respects.
That's actually so sweet.
Press F to pay respects.
Like, to think that even if like they don't know what this creature is or where it's coming from or whatever, and like they still threw it a funeral, that's amazing.
Yeah, nice.
Things were different in Texas in 1897.
But that concludes what I have from the original news article detailing the incident from 1897. Came out on April 19th, and the event happened on April 17th. So, beyond that article, I was able to find some other details, not too many others. Some of these are from some random news sites, and then most of the rest is from a documentary. So the craft had been witnessed flying allegedly over Missouri and Arkansas, hence the original report of it flying across the country. Well, from what I actually found while watching the UFO files, and this is something I was actually familiar with, was in the late 1800s, like in the 1890s, and I think a little after, there were reports from around the world and a lot in the US of mysterious aircraft. Well, airships, as they were called. I actually have 2 of them in lists for us to do episodes on eventually.
Okay, cool.
But the thing is, some of them are such small stories. But craft like airships have been seen in New Zealand in, I think, 1913. In 1913, I think there was one seen in Montenegro as well. I know there's the New Zealand one, which I have on our list, and the Montenegro one. There's just random other ones throughout the country of the United States. Of some of them where the occupant comes out, but of varying degrees of these, what they call them, airships at the time. But, I mean, you could do a whole episode on the mysterious airships at that time, or some of these cases individually do a whole episode on. But it's something I want to explore later.
Okay, I like that.
So there's, I think, some erroneous connection that what was being seen across the country was all this one aircraft. I think there's multiple craft going around at this time.
They just happen to look the same or describe the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
And probably people aren't giving the same details here and there, and they might be different craft, they might be slightly different, but nonetheless, they are being reported throughout the country at the time. In the days following up to this, I believe it was 30 different counties had reported it in Texas, seeing a craft, which could have been the same one or different. But there are records that the unknown pilot of the craft was buried in the Aurora cemetery with Christian rites. The rites were given by a traveling pastor, and the grave was marked not with a typical headstone, but a large stone instead. However, today, that large stone marker is gone, sadly.
Oh, that's sad.
Which I'll go into in a little bit
Is
here.
the cemetery still there, though?
Yeah.
Okay, but the stone marker's gone.
Yep.
Do they know what happened to it?
I will mention that later.
Okay.
As for the wreckage, it was deposited between two places. Some of it was buried with the dead pilot, and the rest was dumped into a well that was under the destroyed windmill.
Okay, what an interesting place to put it.
Yep.
Probably quick, easy, I guess.
Yeah. It seems like they wanted to kind of just forget about all this after it happened. But for a while, the story just faded out of the public. It wouldn't stay out of the minds of everyone for too long, however. The story of the debris goes actually further, as the land that Judge Proctor owned and the craft that crashed on eventually... the land that was owned by him and the area that the craft had originally crashed on was eventually sold. Mr. Brawley Oates purchased the land sometime in 1945. It is claimed that Oates had to clean out the debris from the well in order to use it for himself. Once he did, he was able to use it, but he developed arthritis not long after. It is claimed that it was an extremely severe case of it too. I actually saw in the documentary pictures of it, like where at times his fingers and arms and hands would swell up immensely, and it was disgusting to see.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it was like he would balloon to almost bursting, as his grandson put it.
And they think it came from the water?
That's what he believed. So he claimed he got it from the water and the well being contaminated. So what he did was, 12 years after he moved in, he sealed up the well by putting a concrete slab over top and then building over top of that spot in 1957.
Okay.
As the years went on, public interest in UFOs began to increase after many events such as Kenneth Arnold's fateful sighting of flying saucers, the Roswell crash, the Hopkinsville Goblins, and many more sightings. Groups like MUFON, which is the Mutual UFO Network, if you've ever heard of it, it's like the biggest UFO organization, but they began to form and further investigate into the Aurora UFO incident, and further investigations into the Aurora UFO incident would then be conducted by some of these.
Okay, cool.
In the 1970s, specifically I believe it's 1973, a local aviation writer in the Dallas area for the Dallas Times-Herald, Bill Case, wrote about this. He was also actually the state director of the for Texas for MUFON. And once he wrote about this happening, this 1897 incident, it blew up within the UFO circles.
That would make sense. I mean, it's a big deal to have a UFO crash to begin with, and then to have one that has
before Roswell
a body too.
Yep, before Roswell allegedly has a body and debris still, and it's before we had any aircraft, so you can't really claim it's like a secret U.S. plane. Yada yada. Actually, according to some people online you can, because I saw some fucking idiot the other day say the U.S. government has been using AI images for over 100 years now to basically manipulate everything in history.
No, they just do that by rewriting history books in whitewashed ways.
Well, yeah, that, but so they've been using AI images of World War I, World War II, the Holocaust and all that stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, the amount of brain fucking rot. And
Bet you that person believes that the Earth is flat.
Probably.
And that they're AI pictures of the Earth from the moon.
But hey, the U.S. has been using AI, generative AI, for at least 100 years, apparently.
Wow, before we even had computers. That's so crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And cars.
They could have been making AI slop all the way back in the 40s.
Insane.
These artists don't understand. They have the tools at their fingertips to make slop all the way back then. But no, so they had to make original works.
We strongly support artists.
Yeah.
And fuck AI art, especially AI in general. Not a big fan of. There's things we can't get away from it with, though. But But overall,
There's
fuck AI
analytical
art.
purposes that it can be used, but the mass use of generative AI is a serious issue, especially with its energy demand.
Well, didn't the World Health Organization just say that we're going to run out of clean water
It's probably something like that. I don't know.
in the next decade?
We're using a lot of shitload of clean water for AI data centers.
Why wouldn't they use dirty water?
Because then you'll contaminate the servers you need and all the stuff you have to cool off. They need my drinking water for that. Come on. So fucking grandma over there can make a AI swap of her laughing on her couch with her dog.
What if they used desalination plants?
Desalination plants are not super efficient at getting that much water. And also that means now then we're...
Well, there's countries that rely solely on desalination.
Yeah. Then we're taking all that water we end up using and just dumping it back in the ocean. Polluted water.
What else are we doing with it?
Drinking it and making actual productive use of it rather than making slop.
And we can make productive use of the water that comes out.
Well, we can make productive use now, but I'm saying if we're using it just to make AI shit, the amount of water needed for AI is insane, though, too.
Yeah.
It's like astronomical compared to what we use ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Back on here. So Hayden Hughes as in Hewes, not Hughes as in Huges, who Luke
Ghes.
Ghes, who lost a tooth and a half today in the Olympic hockey game from a high stick from Sam Bennett.
And then scored the golden goal without said teeth.
Yep. Bro, be whistling different now.
Just a little bit.
So Hayden Hughes, the founder of the International UFO Bureau, was one of the first people on the scene after this. He wanted to try and have the body that was recovered to be confirmed and looked into all this and find the debris. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick break here to hear a word from some of our friends.
Maple syrup and being polite. I'm Valerie, host of Canadian Creepies, the podcast that digs up stories polite history would rather forget. Cold cases that never found justice, haunted places that refuse to stay quiet, and folklore with a dark side you've probably never heard. If true crime, paranormal mysteries, and unsettling Canadian history are your thing, you'll want to tune in. New episodes every week wherever you get your podcasts. Canadian Creepies, exploring and exposing the shadows of the true north.
All right, so go check out our friends. Thank you guys for listening to that. Our boy Hayden Hughes gets to town. Funny thing is, he actually drove through Aurora the first time because he didn't realize how small the town actually was.
That's funny.
Yeah. When Hughes discussed with people the topic, some talked at first and then would be cold afterwards, and others were just cold from the get-go. So it was
cold?
Like they wouldn't want to talk about. They're very, like cold with him.
Oh, okay. Shut down.
Yeah.
Evasive.
Yep. So what from all this stuff, they did a large investigation, and a lot of this comes to more light through some documentaries that are done on this. One of them being the UFO Files, which was a show that ran from 2004 to, I believe, 2007. Earlier UFO documentary stuff. And I actually found their episode on Tubi from 2005, the episode they aired called Texas's Roswell, or no, I think it was the Roswell of Texas. And then the following episode was like the Roswell of Brazil, and then the episode after that was like the Roswell of New Mexico, which I think is just Roswell.
I think it's interesting that they're calling it the Roswell of so-and-so when this one especially didn't happen, like happened 40 years or some shit before the actual Roswell.
I watched the full episode, and it was pretty good, actually. Like, the stuff I mentioned on Hughes was from that documentary episode, and basically a lot of what I'm going to go over now is from that. That became my primary source then for the rest of this.
Okay, cool. So prior to watching that, the article was all you had?
The article and a few other things online, not nearly as much. And also I found the MUFON investigation from 1973, which actually the documentary did a good job of summarizing it. The MUFON investigation article is like their summary and a bunch of news clippings, other images, and everything is 199 pages.
Holy shit.
I did use parts of that. Atlas is being very disruptive today's episode, if anyone can hear him in the background. Sorry about that. Alright, back on this. When the people associated with the UFO files dug more into the newspaper story, they actually found 16 separate articles in the local newspapers talking about the crash in Aurora on the same day as the one that was written by, was it S.E. Hayden.
Oh, interesting. That's like a lot of articles to write about something like that in that time.
Yep. So, whatever happened had the attention of many local journalists. They looked over the MUFON investigation from 1973 and talked about things found through that. Now, there is a report on this you can get, as I mentioned earlier, on the Wayback Machine, but it's 199 pages. It will be linked in the show notes with the other sources used today. And it was led by Bill Case, the same guy we mentioned earlier. So, through the MUFON investigation, they are actually able to locate 3 people in Aurora who were there at the time of the crash. So, we're talking 1973. The original thing happened in 1897. So, everybody here is very old by that point. They're all children when it happened. So, the first person in here is G.C. Curley, who was working at the time, and his friends went to go actually see what happened. They told him they saw the body and the crash site, and that it had scared everyone who was there. There was a whole crowd to see it. He never got to see what it was, but they mentioned that it was something that scared them. The next witness was Mary Evans, who was 15 at the time of the incident. She told of how her parents went there and saw the body and the debris. She was not allowed to go because her parents forbade her from going there to witness it. And then our third and final surviving witness, and like the first 2 are kind of like quote unquote witness because it's secondhand. You don't have many first-hand people by that point. The third and final surviving witness at the time was Charlie Stevens. He was 10 at the time and claimed to have been working out with his father on their farm. I believe was herding cattle, and they'd seen the smoking airship go through the sky at the time as it headed north to Aurora. It had white searchlight shining down from it too. He saw the explosion from afar, and it made a mushroom cloud. He wanted to see what was going on, but his father, who also witnessed it, would not let him leave their farm as he still had chores to do.
Mm-hmm.
Big explosion in town, random thing flying through the sky. Son, you gotta do your damn chores first.
Listen, that's what keeps a household running. Who gives a shit about what's flying in the sky?
You were talking earlier.
The cows need milk, the dishes need done.
What you do in 1897 besides your flower bed? Well, you do the damn chores.
What chores do you think he was doing?
I don't know, but you gotta work first to see them aliens. He did say that he believed there may have actually been 2 or 3 bodies in the crash, actually, but he didn't get to go see it. His father did go in and get to see it, and told him that he saw the body and the debris in town and talked with others about it. Now, then there's a 4th person who was alive at the time. It's hard to get the date, but she was interviewed in 1973. Etta Pegus. Or Pegus? Pegus? I don't know. I hope I spelled it right. It kept on trying to correct me to the word peg or pig every time. But
that's sad.
She was either 69 or 79. No, not that. I think it was 69 or 76. I think I wrote it wrong here. One interviewed. I've seen 2 ages. She was either born right after or 3 when it happened. She claimed the windmill actually never existed and that was a hoax the entire time by S.E. Hayden. She said he was kind of the prankster type of guy, and he also wanted to spur more attention to Aurora, as the new railroads had entirely ignored the town. However, based on the documentary, it is claimed she actually never went to look at the crash site herself when it happened, and her father refused to go as well because he claimed it was a hoax without ever leaving to go see, and instilled that in her.
So does she doesn't remember the incident?
I don't think so. By
the time, but she remembers the recollection of other people.
By the upper age that she could have been, based on the estimate, what the 2 things I saw, she'd be, I think, 3 years old.
Yeah, there's no way she's remembering that.
She is a local historian, but she said there's never a windmill on that property, and that S.E. Hayden was just a prankster, and they wanted to get attention to a dying town.
Mm-hmm.
So MUFON did bring a team to look into the area with metal detectors, first to the alleged crash site, and found a lot of old normal things like nails, other random pieces of metal, but did find one strange piece of metal there. A piece MUFON now owns, and was determined to be 95% aluminum and 5% iron. It was completely free of zinc, which apparently is a huge deal for this material to be that. And I am no materials expert, but apparently all this was a very interesting find. Like, you shouldn't find material that's just 95% aluminum and 5% iron like that. It had to be made somewhere advanced. And the people of Aurora did not have those capabilities in 1897, let alone many others at that time.
Well, I mean, that's fair. Aurora itself only had maybe a couple hundred people.
Yeah, and apparently when we do stuff where it's like 95% aluminum, 5% iron, there should be some percent zinc in there.
Aluminium.
Yeah, but there was no zinc in this whatsoever.
Hmm.
And then
So are they like assuming then that wherever this ship could have been made, like, zinc doesn't exist, or it's just not part of, like...
Maybe because we can make that type of stuff, but it takes more advanced technique and technology.
Oh.
So it had to come from somebody who was using more advanced methods. On a separate tangent to this, other material was submitted to Dr. Tom Gray. He was given 3 pieces of material, but it didn't seem to be something the MUFON team was bringing to him. Somebody else did. And they said it was from the crash site. Well, the first artifact tested was actually a water pump impeller due to Dr. Gray's father recognizing it when he showed it to him. The other 2 pieces were primarily iron, which makes sense based on stuff people make. However, when studying the magnetic properties, he found it not magnetic, which is a realistic thing to find for a part from a farm in Aurora, based on the type of iron. Unfortunately, the news grabbed the story and sensationalized it, and it kind of ran amok that he found this mysterious non-magnetic material, but like, he found something that was well within the realm of realistic possibilities, what he said.
Yeah.
But the news ran with it to try and sensationalize this further.
As they do.
Yep.
That's what the news is for.
The MUFON team eventually went to the graveyard, and someone helped direct them to where the body should have been. And they found the stone marker, and it seemed to have what looked like an airship carved into the stone.
Oh. I think I saw that whenever you were watching
I think
the documentary, like that random stone that's in the middle of just like the grass.
Now, they used metal detectors and found similar readings to what they found at the crash site. The similar strength and level of what it was. So possibly the similar material. They wanted to excavate, but received intense pushback, including courts had to get involved in this. People didn't want a lot of excavation in the cemetery. The owners of the cemetery didn't want it.
I mean, that's fair. It's a cemetery.
Town, and many people locally didn't want it, but there are many people locally who did want it to put this to rest. So they legally couldn't do this because they needed to get in contact with next of kin.
Okay.
Who's the next of kin of a random alien? Where's our boy J-Rod from Area 51 helping out here, or Glebe Glob, or some random alien name? Where's my boy E.T.?
50 years later?
Yeah. From all this, the police guarded the area for 2 weeks, and once they were gone, it got more mysterious than before. When the MUFON investigators got back into the area after the police had left, the stone marker was entirely gone. And that's how I said it's gone now. So they were looking in the area. They found stuff with them, that there's something down there with the metal detector. Then they got blocked by a court, and the cops guarded the area for 2 weeks. They come back, and the stone is completely gone now.
So, okay.
And on top of it, there's a pipe there sticking out the ground.
Has it ever been found? The stone?
No. But it's believed that pipe there that was sticking was used to extract whatever metal was left. Because when they used their metal detectors, nothing was able to be found anymore down there.
That's so crazy.
Yep.
And they must have got like every little piece of it then.
Yeah.
If if a metal detector didn't catch anything.
Yeah, and I don't know how all metal detecting goes. There might be some remnants left, but nothing like large that they were trying to get or sizable to test. Now, 2008, UFO hunters, a different UFO documentary thing, they aired an episode on November 18th, also about the Aurora UFO incident. I did not watch this one.
Mm-hmm.
They had down. They had done an investigation where the grandson of Brawley Oates let them unseal the well. He was also speaking on the UFO Files episode, but in this one in 2008 with UFO hunters, he let them unseal the well. And when doing this, they found the foundations for a windmill or some similar structure to be there.
Even though that one,
like you said there, yeah. And then somebody also mentioned it might not have exactly been a windmill, but another type of structure, I forget what it's called, that looks similar to a windmill, but it's not a windmill.
Like a grain silo?
No, because it would be like a scaffolding type thing.
Okay.
But it was something similar is the other thing it could have been, but it's technically not a windmill, but it looks
Was it a
like
windmill
one.
or is it like maybe one of those things, you know how they put the metal like roosters on top of like a house to determine wind?
It wouldn't be that.
Well, you know they make ones that
Yeah, I know, but
freestand.
I forget what it was exactly, but it wasn't that. They showed a picture of it. I don't know what it is or what it's called, but I know it's not that. And I didn't rewind to go see that part again. But nonetheless, there was all the evidence there to show that, yes, there was a windmill there.
Okay, so then this person who was 3 years old either...
The local historian...
has their history wrong?
Or they don't want to believe it. That's one interesting thing with UFO cases. You have the diehard believers who will believe everything, the diehard skeptics who will deny everything. And it's really hard to find middle grounds. I like to try and take the middle ground approach, but fuck is it annoying, because then the only two voices you hear are the hard believers and the hard deniers that will never accept the opposite.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Now, they were able to finally test the water down there and had unusually high levels of aluminum in it.
Aluminium. Sorry, I already said that. I just can't help it.
There were no pieces of metal down there as Brawley Oates, the guy who originally bought the land, had removed them decades ago. They went back to the graveyard and used a radar to determine that there were bodies in the area that it was supposed to have I forget if it was bodies or body buried in that area, but you're using a radar in a general area in a cemetery, there's going to be multiple bodies. But that's all they could really tell, because they couldn't exhume the body. They don't know if they get the right one or not. It had been over 100 years, so it was too deteriorated to tell anything.
So there was multiple bodies in the area where this alien was buried.
I forget what it said exactly.
But there could have been.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Let me see what it said here. They did find the grave, but it was too deteriorated to conclusively determine what types of remains were there.
So it does sound like it was one.
Yeah.
One grave.
But hey, I mean, if it was small aliens, you could fit multiple there, and they could all look like one person because of how deteriorated it is.
And, like, realistically, too, an unmarked grave, like, I'm assuming that was probably pretty common back then, though.
Yeah. Potter's Field is what they call it.
That or, floods, if there was a random flood, or things like could wash away headstones and
Could
stuff.
be. So the landowner did give them pieces of metal that, when tested, did contain mostly aluminum and an unknown material in it as well, an unknown element.
Was it an unknown element at the time of testing?
Maybe, I don't know.
Or could it be one that we know now?
It just said unknown element, that's all I had. I don't know if it could be a mix of elements, how it was made, unknown, just couldn't be tested because of how it was formed. It could be a variety of things.
I don't know that I would believe that we wouldn't know what that element is now. Yeah. Or at least have a name for it.
Maybe it was something with the way it was forged, we just can't determine it.
We probably would be able to determine its properties.
Probably also don't think for something like that, maybe. Like a UFO show here.
hey, billionaires who don't need the billionaire money, fund research for unknown elements that come out of UFO crashes, especially now that the United States government has decided now is the best time to confirm that aliens exist, which is really fucked up because they're just covering. Epstein. Yeah, they're just covering for the Epstein files.
Whoops.
But ew, I hate that line.
Whoopsie.
But yeah, use your money. Put your money where your mouth is, and figure some of this shit out.
Find them aliens.
Yeah, understand this unknown element. I feel like probably patent that shit and get it named after you.
Now, what could this have been, though? All of this in general. From investigators going to the town, it seems the town was split 50-50 on real versus hoax. For the hoax side, they mentioned Etta Pugis, who was, I really hope I say that right, who was a local historian too. She claimed that S.E. Hayden was a prankster and that he wanted to help the dying town, and the mayor actually kind of alluded to this too in 2005 with the UFO files, about how there was a really bad rash of weevils destroying the crops in the area, because this is an entirely rural area, which also then led to some fires because of how destroyed some of the crops were and dead, which did kill some people. And on top of it, there was a railroad skipping their town, which really heavily affected them, especially for that day and age. That's before we have anything like highways, and so, well, it's basically if the highway just skips a whole area, too. Now, Hughes also mentions that there was never a windmill there, but that, and like she said, it was made up, but however, the foundation's been found to support one or something similar to that was once there. So it's kind of hard to, go on that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it wasn't a hoax or aliens, what could it be? Well, the idea of a hot air balloon, early version of an airship, or plane were thrown out there as possible explanations. What?
Did you say this was before the Wright brothers flew, though?
Exactly. Now, on this, more complex airships smashing this were still years out. Planes weren't invented yet, and I feel like they would and could tell if it was a hot air balloon, and that if it was a person who died in it.
Also, hot air balloons, not made of aluminum. Their baskets might be.
Exactly.
And they're not shaped like a cigar.
And as you know from our other episodes, cigar-shaped UFOs it's in the family of shapes of UFOs you typically see. You see your saucers, your upside down bowls, your
and
eggs.
A correct egg.
Your completed egg. Your egg.
Dippy egg.
No.
You have to understand where I was coming from with that, because I'm not kidding. UFO, look at our logo.
Yeah.
That could be misconstrued as a dippy
saucer.
egg. It looks like a dippy egg.
But when I say egg, I mean the egg itself, what comes out the chicken's butt.
Eggshell.
Sorry, the chicken's cloaca.
You could just say eggshell.
That is the egg, though.
But more specifically, it's the egg shell.
If I Google egg right now, I'm probably going to get the egg in the shell.
You're probably going to get every kind of egg there is.
You and your eggs. But yeah, and then we have cigar-shaped UFOs as the other one, which you see a lot of, so this kind of fits within that area.
Actually, motherfucker,
God.
There is the second picture is a fucking dippy egg.
Okay, what about the first picture, huh?
Hard-boiled, not within the shell. Hard-boiled, not within the shell, and then cut in half because somebody's about to take some deviled fucking eggs to a party.
Now, what'd you Google?
Egg.
The way you said that, what'd you Google? Egg.
My FBI agent's probably very confused.
Search history. Egg. Dippy egg.
Did you know that it's a versatile, nutritious food from birds, most commonly chicken, that can be cooked in numerous ways, such as boiled, fried, scrambled, poached, or baked. Yeah, and used in dishes like omelets, quiches, and frittatas, as well as in baking and sauces like mayonnaise and hollandaise.
Mayonnaise. That's an instrument, not a food.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
All right, back to this. Let's go back here. So the last possible explanation we can have here is a tough one to swallow. It was truly aliens.
I don't know. It seems pretty easy to swallow.
Like an egg?
Eggs are easy to swallow. Not a whole egg. An egg in the shape that I like, which is, I hate dippy eggs, but in the shape, I like the shape of a dippy egg. Scrambled egg. Yeah, easy to swallow.
What if it was scrambled egg shaped?
That'd be crazy. Because if you go to a restaurant, their scrambled eggs are going to be a flat piece. I'd chop mine up into really, really, really tiny little bits so that every piece is cooked the whole way through. That'd be a fucked up UFO.
It's just a lot of UFOs.
Yeah, it's basically just a solar system of UFOs.
All right. So, conclusion here. In 1897, something truly strange happened in Aurora, Texas.
Something strange? Go check out our friends.
You may be doing something with them soon. Who knows?
Ooh.
But something crashed in this town. Debris strewn about and a dead pilot. The occupant and craft being described as not from this world, and then the story forgotten about not long after. Eventually, the story came back up and prompted further investigations that found peculiar details and some witnesses still around. Through trying to find the debris and the bodies, stuff seems to be hidden and stuff seems to be found as well. Unknown materials and missing grave markers. What happened here in Aurora, Texas is still a mystery to this day.
I don't know. Sounds like aliens.
What do you think it is?
Aliens. I mean, I just think that, like, with the Wright brothers not having made planes, like, take off yet.
Exactly.
Until, you said, what, 1902, 5 years later?
And I do think at this time there's something going on with airships throughout the world.
It's
There's
definitely
so many
not.
reports of these random ass airships.
And it's definitely, like, it's just too advanced for that time. It kind of reminds me of, like, how the pyramids were built. Like, something else, to me, was there that wasn't the same level of technology that the people at that time had.
Oh, I forgot another thing that they put in the hoax category. That guy who said it had to be a Martian, so he actually was not an astronomer. He was an amateur astronomer.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he was an astrologer, and I was going to say, oh my god, what's his sign?
But to also determine something as a Martian, Martians were like the craze then. So, like, it's not human, it's Martian. I highly doubt something from Mars.
Brad Marchand?
But some people want to just, kind of keep it that way.
And if it was cigar-shaped, it's not a submarine in the sky.
Exactly.
And then it's definitely not a hot air balloon. That's a really dumb fucking theory, in my opinion. Yeah. Because, like, first of all, did they have? They had them.
Hot air balloons are around for quite a while by that.
But, like, the materials are so different.
Yep.
It's a literal balloon going. It's not a fucking cigar.
What type of hot air balloon person does not look human? I mean, maybe Italians, apparently, according to Joe Simonton.
I mean, I'm thinking like a leprechaun.
Oh my... Irish, then.
Yeah. Hey, they're my people. I'm allowed to make fun of them.
Same here.
True.
Now, back on this. So you're going on the alien route. I'm leaning more towards the alien route myself.
It was an alien route, or it was somebody who was far ahead of their time compared to the Wright brothers and was attempting flight.
The whole hoax thing is just difficult because a lot of the things they mentioned hoax-wise fall apart. And the fact that there was the marker and all the things going to cover it up, it's really just fishy.
It does sound like a cover-up of some kind.
Yeah. Now, this does actually have some pop culture behind it. Ooh. First off, our Howdy Doodly neighbor Rooney, who unfortunately passed away in his Dundidley craft.
Is that where your second...
Simpsons reference?
Yes. I was going to ask where it was.
The alien has been nicknamed Ned over the years. Like our buddy Ned Flanders.
Why?
I don't know, but imagine just like what we talked about earlier explodes and he's flying out through the smoke. Oh, howdy doodly, I'm in some danger oodly.
Also, I'm thinking in my head right now, I have not heard of Aurora, Texas. I've heard of Aurora, Colorado.
Oh, okay. That's a different type of aurora in a different type of the country, completely localized within a different state at this time of the year.
I'm just really fucking stupid and terrible at geography.
But our Howdy Doodly neighbor Rooney is the name of the nickname for the alien.
That's honestly hilarious.
And there is now actually a marker in the town, like at the cemetery for it.
Well, that's
It's
cool.
about the history of the cemetery, but they talk about the UFO sighting.
Do you think Greg Abbott believes this?
But they've held conferences there. There's been events in the town regarding this as well. So they've done some of that type of stuff, similar to what happens at Carbondale now. But, they have feature a broken window. They have their plans for an alien-themed haunted house one of the years, and it was supposed to have a windmill with a broken saucer that Ned had crashed, as they put it. He's known as Ned.
Love that.
The neighboroonie. But Sage, here's a picture from the event. One of the events for it.
That's fun. Oh, those cupcakes are cute.
And they had speakers there too.
Well, that's cool.
Which is cool. I'd love to be a speaker sometime at one of these type of things.
I would not.
I think it would be cool. But yeah, that's the type of thing. I literally got some of this from the Aurora, Texas government site. Now, for other pop culture, there is actually a 1986 film called The Aurora Counter that kind of dramatized this more than it probably needed to be. Ancient Aliens has covered it, UFO Hunters, UFO Files, local news has reported it. Some of the other things were an independent short movie was co-written and co-directed by musician historian Thomas Negovin and Aaron Chaps. And it was titled Aurora. It also dramatized it similar to the Aurora Counter. But they brought in the Nazi conspiracy of the Glock, which I talked about in, I think, the Kecksburg UFO episode, which is like this thing called the Bell, which looks like a bell, and it's a UFO that the Nazis allegedly have, and it's similar to the Kecksburg UFO in shape. Always Nazis now. Let's see, it was also satirized in the Firesign Theater's 1974 comedy, Everything You Know Is Wrong. And that's about it for the pop culture of this, but there actually is pop culture, finally, of
that's pretty
something
cool.
like this. But it's been covered a decent bit. I really have never heard of this till I started researching it. I got a link to it when I was doing the Roswell thing, where it was talking about how there's an earlier incident, and then I looked into this finally. I'm like, this is actually more interesting than I expected it to be.
Tubi, isn't that where you watched the
Yeah, that too.
the documentary on?
So, let me think. What should my rating be this time? Should I do Howdy Doodly or Eggs?
Doodly.
So, my neighbor Rooney Doodly, how many scrumptious doodly eggs out of 10 would you rate this one?
Probably 6.
I will rate this also 6 doodly eggs out of 10.
Yep.
We're on the higher end of this one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there could be a plausible explanation for it, but I also think that because there isn't better evidence, it is safe to say that it's something that we don't know.
Exactly.
Like it's something from elsewhere.
It's really a really interesting case.
Yeah, I'm impressed that you were able to find that much on it too, like from...
Well, the Tubi thing gave me so much more when I was like, maybe I should check out one of these episodes. And it was like basically tripled the length of what I had written, or else we'd be discussing a lot more stuff to pad my time. But I think that about covers it. Do you have any other questions on this one before we wrap it up?
I do not.
All right. Well, I don't know what you're covering next episode. Actually, I think I know. I think we're going to a certain sanatorium.
Sure.
But then in the following week, we'll be discussing a very current conspiracy.
Yay.
With our friends from Something Strange. And it's definitely one that's local to us, too. We're talking like FDA and OSHA as well. With that being said, I think it's time for us to sign off. So thank you everyone for listening. If you like what you're listening to, go like, comment, review, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to. Share with your friends, family, babysitter, person you found on the street, your coworker, your boss, maybe the people under you if you are the boss, and maybe that person who delivers your Amazon packages. Like, open the door when they're delivering when they don't expect it and be like, listen to Unknown, Unsolved, Unseen, and scare the ever-living shit out of them.
Basically create MLM.
Yep. And then go follow us on our socials, our Blue Sky we don't use, the TikTok I occasionally use, and our Instagram that's been doing better since I've been posting memes. Hopefully you guys find those funny too. With that being said, thank you once again for listening. Every little bit of support you guys helps us out in the algorithms, and we're so thankful for all of it. So we hope you guys have a wonderful time. Hope you enjoyed those Winter Olympics, and sorry about the week vacation we took. Wasn't really a vacation. Sage was suffering, and so was I.
We were. It was an interesting time.
Yeah. But with that being said, you ready to sign off, Sage?
I am.
And remember,
To look for
the unknown,
the unsolved,
and the unseen.
Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys. Have a doodly diddly, neighborhoody, beautiful day.
Bye.